Hey Divas, it's your girl Songbird Diva for life, and today I'm coming to you with the most fantastic, handsomest, smartest man in the whole entire world. And who is that? My hubby, Dave. Say hi.
Hey guys, what's going on?
So today I got, a lot of requests for me to do this tag a long time ago. So today I'm finally getting to the husband tag. So I'm not going to talk too much. Go right ahead and get into it. Number one, where did we meet?
We actually met at our school in college, and I actually noticed her first. She didn't notice me at all. That's pretty much where we met.
What was our first date?
Our first date was actually to go see American Pie at the mall near our school. And because we were two broke college students, we went to the movies and we had McDonald's afterwards. We had the Happy Meal. And I think we still actually have the toys from that Happy Meal.
Yeah, but I don't know where they are.
Yeah, I don't know whether.
Where was our first kiss and how was it?
Our first kiss actually was at a party, after a party we had at my school. And it was actually on my way back to dropping her off at her dorm room. We had our first kiss, and it was excellent.
Did you know that I was the one?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I knew, but I didn't know. I knew from the first time I laid eyes on her, and I know that sounds very cheesy, but it's the truth. When I first met my wife, when I first saw her, I was just like, whoa, who is this woman? And my first instinct or my first reaction was to run after her just to really get to know her name. And I did, but like I said, she really didn't think anything of me when we first met.
I didn't know he was the one. I mean, I told him from the beginning of our relationship, I don't know how long this thing is going to last because I never had a real relationship. All my relationships were like 2 months or under, I never had a real relationship. So I told him from the get-go, I don't know where this is going to go. I even told him, I remember one time telling him, I don't even understand how people could get married. Like, I don't even want to get married.
Babe, let me tell this story. Okay, so we're hanging out in her room. We're not even really a couple yet. We're just, having fun, hanging out. And she's talking to her roommate saying, you know what, I can't understand how people could be in a relationship for so long. I don't understand why people get married. I've never been in love before. And to me, I grew up in a family that, there was a lot of love. There were a lot of, other things too, but I was like, how can somebody go through life without being in love or loving somebody or wanting to be in a relationship? I
grew up in a family where there's a lot of love too, but I just didn't understand how people could be together for so long.
When you heard how she was speaking, I was just like, that's just crazy. So, I said, I had a little silent prayer and I said, God, let me be that person for her. Not realizing what I was asking, but to me it was like, how can you not have that in your life? And I just wanted to be that for her. And you can see, we're here together today. So God does answer prayers.
What was your first impression?
By far, I was just like, you're the most beautiful and attractive woman in the entire world. Like, everything that I ever wanted from the time I was younger or young enough to know what I wanted in a woman is exactly who you were.
My first impression, I had no first impression because the first time that he said we met, it was like fleeting to me. I don't really remember it because all I remember is him coming and introducing himself when I was having a conversation with my friend, and I just looked at him like, who is this guy? Because I didn't know him from anywhere, and I thought it was so rude because I'm in the middle of a conversation. So that was like, even after I was like, who is this guy? I didn't think about him again until one day him and my friend came to my house to pick me up to go to school, and he was silent the whole day, the whole time. And I looked at my friend and I was like, what's wrong with your friend? Why doesn't he talk? What's wrong with him?
All right, babe. Let me. That was her side of the story. Let me give you my side of the story. Going back to when I first met my wife. When I first met my wife, like I said, jaw dropped. I was like, who is this woman? So actually, I was speaking to her best friend at the time. Not speaking to her like, boyfriend and girlfriend, but I was actually in a conversation with her best friend at the time. And my wife walks in. I see her and I'm like, damn, who is this girl? So I literally run after my wife just to try to get close to her, just to say hi, just to say hello. And what I didn't realize at the time is that when I caught up to her, she was speaking to her best friend at the time, and I'm trying to really think about what I can say, something suave, something smooth, something like, memorable. And all I could blurt out was, "Hi, my name is Dane." Not realizing she was in the middle of a conversation. She was deep in that, that flow. And here comes this rude guy just saying hi, and the name. So she looked at me as if I was crazy or I had two heads. Immediately I was shot
I gave
down.
him a stank look.
Very stank look. Immediately I was shot down. Felt like a World War II fighter pilot that didn't make the target. So the next time I see her, I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to shut up, not going to say anything. I remember what happened the first time. Obviously, she didn't remember what happened the first time. So when she actually started, we started talking and walking, she was like, to asking a friend, "Yo, your friend doesn't talk?" Not realizing I tried to have a conversation with her before.
Yeah. When did you meet the family?
I met the family. It's a funny question. I met the family in pieces. I met her brother, one of her brothers first. That was when the same day I wasn't talking to you. He came to the door to open up the door. That's when I met him. And then I met your mom, your dad, your grandmother, and your other brother. I would never forget this. It was Halloween. Came to get her so that way we can actually go to school. The door opened up. Her mom was there, gave me a huge big smile. Didn't know if that was specifically for me or something else happened.
My mom is a nice lady.
That's true. When you get to know her, she's a very, very wonderful lady. Thinks she gave birth to me, but that's another story for another day. So I walked in. She said, "Have a seat." The lapa was getting ready, and I remember this like it was yesterday. I'm sitting down, her brothers are looking at me, her grandmother's looking at me, but the person that was looking at me the hardest was her father. Oh man, he was trying to eat dinner, but at the corner of my eye, I could see he was just staring at me, eating whatever he was eating at the time. I'm like, I was a little shook, but at the same time, I felt I could handle my own. And
I'm the only girl. They have every right to be overprotected. When my children start, getting to that age,
I'm gonna have
watch
a shot.
out.
I'm gonna have a shot. You heard it from me. I'm gonna have a shot.
No,
we gonna go bad boys up in this bitch.
Do we have a tradition?
That's a real hard question to answer. We don't specifically have any traditions per se. I'm trying to really think.
Besides celebrating every anniversary, we celebrate every anniversary.
Every anniversary.
From our first date to the first time we actually became boyfriend and girlfriend, our wedding anniversary, Valentine's Day, every anniversary that we can think of, we celebrate. Why not? Why not? Why just celebrate on your birthday? Come on.
Exactly.
You should look forward to different celebrations throughout the year. That's how I see it.
That's true. Very
So
true.
we don't have a specific tradition.
We don't have specific traditions. We have I would say quirky things that we do in a positive way. Like if we're watching mysteries, we have this thing like the D&D Detective Agency, which you guys are not really going to understand, but we like to try to figure out what's happening before it actually happens, and we figure out little detective scenarios and things of that nature, and usually one of us is right. So we have that. We love watching television shows together, one of the...
That's not a tradition.
Yeah, but it's...
Watching TV shows is not a tradition.
So what would you consider one of our traditions?
We don't really have a tradition. Besides celebrating anniversaries, I don't think we have a tradition. We do have the secret handshake.
That is true. We have a few of those. We do have a few of those. Like when we're really excited.
We have secret handshakes.
We have secret handshakes.
Can't show you because it's a secret, but
Too much.
What was our first road trip?
First road trip was to Atlantic City, and that was when I first got my first car. My family decided on having, I guess you would consider it like a family reunion down in Atlantic City, and I decided on taking the ride, and brought her with me, and the rest is history.
Who said I love you first, and where were we?
I did. I said it first, and we were in her dorm room. I think we were together, and I think it was a month into the relationship. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. We were a month into the relationship. I said, "I love you." She's like, "Nah, you don't love me. You love the thought of being with me." And I'm like, "Nah, I love you." She was like, "Oh no, you don't love me," and I think this had to go back to the whole thing about her not being in love and understanding what love is. And to me, I was just like, "Yo, I love you."
And I was like, get real. Get real. What are you talking about? I told you, Divas, I was rough. I was like, what the dude talking about?
She was real rough, man. She was like a hand grenade, man. Just one you hold right in your hand. Boom.
I was like, he don't know what he talking about. He trying to be all suave. I'm like, get out of here. You don't love me. But he did. What do we argue about the most?
Well, thank God we don't argue about a lot. I mean, I think the older we've got, the older we get, the more mature we get, and we come to a level of understanding about a lot of things. So we tend not to argue.
Because before we used to argue a lot. Divas, when I was rough, we would argue about every little thing. Divas, everything. But now, like he said, like now that we've matured more, I'm in a lot happier and better place. We don't really argue as much, but we do argue about
like small stuff, like not really small stuff, but like I'm a person that's really transitioning to be a more cleaner individual. If we argue about anything, it's about me leaving stuff where they're not supposed to be or putting things back in the places that they're supposed to be.
That is what we argue about the most. Divas, I have a little OCD. I need things to be clean. I need things to be in the right place for me to be able to concentrate on things. If something's not in the right place, I can't start a project. If something is not clean, it bothers me. And he is messy. So I don't understand why he just can't put things away where they belong. Like hang up his clothes, put a cup in the sink. He is getting a lot better than he was before.
Thank you.
But that's what we argue about the most.
Yeah. It's not good to argue, especially in your relationship.
But that's what we argue about the most.
Yeah, so help me. Pray for me.
Who wears the pants in a relationship?
I do. You heard it right. I do.
He does, but he's not like a dictator. He's not one of those guys that is do as I say. Divas, I have a lot of say. I try to, if I believe something passionately, a lot of the times he will see it from my perspective. But if it's something that we're like not too sure of, I do, give him the final say. Whatever he says is like, all right, fine. But most of the time he does he respects my opinions a lot. So a lot of times with me, I do a lot of research before I commit to anything, before I really take a step in doing anything. So he knows me. Once I investigated something or researched something, and if I'm really passionate about it, he's usually on board. So he's super supportive.
As my wife said, I'm not a dictator. I listen to a lot of things. I come up with a lot of compromises. Especially if she wants something, I know she's put in a lot of work to it. I'm more the kind of guy like, look, I just want this. Let's do this. Whatever the case may be. Not from a dictatorship standpoint. More from like, all right, I see this going in this direction. We should, be doing this.
If I'm sitting in front of the TV, what am I watching?
It all depends on the day, and it all depends on the time. Now, if you're talking about live TV,
I hardly watch live TV.
That's what I'm saying. Like, live TV, you're more watching like the Real Housewives of whatever county or Atlanta. Beverly Hills. If you're watching anything, like if it's not live TV, it's TV shows, like old school TV shows. Like right now, we're on a constant loop of Frasier. We've seen it, I think, from season 1 to 11. Now this will be the 3rd time we're watching it.
Divas, I have cycles. Like I have to watch things in cycles. It depends on how I'm feeling. Like when we first started going out, I was hooked on, in college, I was hooked on the Flintstones and the Jetsons and Scooby-Doo.
Yes.
That's the only thing I wanted to watch. Those are the 3 only shows I would watch. Scooby-Doo, the Jetsons, and the Flintstones. That was it. And then later on, like it switched to different shows.
Yeah,
I got into the Golden Girls. Divas, if you know how many times I've watched the Golden Girls, I know line for line. It's ridiculous. And I'm still not tired of them. And then I got into The Office and Family Guy and Frasier. And whenever I'm in a loop, Divas, I have to watch those shows and nothing but those shows.
Absolutely.
It's ridiculous.
I'll give you an example. I remember the first apartment I ever got. And it came down to choosing a cable provider. I remember that one of the stipulations was it had to have a channel that you can actually watch Flintstones and Scooby-Doo.
If it didn't have that channel, if it didn't have Boomerang, I was like,
that
you
was
can't
it.
get that cable because I have to watch Scooby Doo and the Flintstones. I mean, it's just what it was. What dressing do I get on my salad?
Country French, and specifically Ken's Country French salad dressing.
Growing up, I've only eaten French dressing. I don't like other dressings. He likes ranch. I can't even imagine eating it. I've only liked French dressing.
Yeah.
What's the one food I don't like?
There's no specific one food, but if it's a category of food, it would be anything that has like I like to call it a surprise inside. My wife would call it guap, or any sort of like, cream or like ooziness.
Oh, I cannot
She can't stand that stuff.
any food that has like a liquid, mushy center. I can't. Even those gums back in the day, they used to have like a jelly filling. Oh, Divas, one day a friend gave it to me. I did not know it had that filling. I bit into it. I almost threw up. I can't have anything like guacamole or anything guappy. I can't have it. Ugh.
Guapi. That's funny.
I can't. I already asked you that. We go out to eat. What do I get to drink?
Sprite, no ice.
All day, every day. That's the only thing I drink. And water. Mostly water, but if we go out to eat, Sprite, no ice.
Yeah.
What size shoe do I wear?
All right, good question. It would be an 8.5 or 9 in U.S. sizes. In I guess they would call it European sizes. It would be 38.5 or 39.
Very good.
About
If
a
I
lot
was
of shoes.
collecting anything, what would it be?
Right now, the flavor of the month would be shoes.
Yes. What is my favorite type of sandwich?
An egg sandwich.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling right now. But besides the egg sandwich, what other sandwich do I like?
Turkey, ham, and cheese on a hero.
That's it.
Yeah.
What would I eat every day if I could?
Again, that would be a cycle pattern. There's stages. So, for example, when we first started going out, it was Twinkies. Then it became Rice Krispie treats.
Divas, in college, I was addicted to Twinkies and Rice Krispie treats. That was like a drug. You would think I was like a serious addict. Like that was all I would eat.
I remember.
Even though I don't like guap, like inside the Twinkie, I would scoop out
Yes.
the filling in the Twinkie
Yes.
and eat the Twinkies. Divas, I can go through a whole box of Twinkies and Rice Krispie treats in like 2 days. It was an addiction.
And
Like,
she still looks
seriously.
like this. So
Like
I mean,
seriously, it was an addiction.
It
And when
was
I didn't have it, I would like get withdrawals where I would get like the nastiest attitude, and then he would have to go get me like a Twinkie or a Rice Krispie treat. It was that serious.
The worst was when they were on sale.
Oh my gosh,
when they were on
Divas.
sale.
I would stock up, and it would just go like that because I would eat it morning, afternoon, night. With dinner, I'm gonna have a Rice Krispie treat. With lunch, I'm gonna have a Twinkie. Like it was just what it was. I go in cycles.
Yeah. Then it was moon pies, and then
Moon
that
pies.
was something else.
What would I eat now? What do you think?
Entenmann's pound cake.
Oh yes.
That, to me, to be honest with you, since we've been together, that has always stayed consistent.
Yeah. I don't like any other cake. I cannot eat any other cake besides Entenmann's pound cake.
Even one layer of our wedding cake was like pound cake.
Yeah, but I didn't even eat our wedding cake. I didn't even eat our wedding cake. I don't like cake. The only cake I like is Entenmann's pound cake. What's my favorite cereal?
Apple Jacks.
Apple Jacks. Followed by?
Rice Krispie treats.
No, Rice Krispies.
Oh, sorry. Right, I said Rice Krispie treats. I'm thinking a Rice Krispie.
Because the Rice Krispie treats has the cereal too.
Yeah.
No, I don't like. I like the regular Rice.
I meant to say Rice Krispies, to be honest with you.
What is my favorite music?
Okay. I would say the foundation would be gospel music. After that, it would be
Gospel music just makes my spirit happy.
yeah, it just makes the spirit
Puts me
happy.
in a good mood.
It would have to be like a really good like old school R&B, but anything from the Celine Dion catalog. Classical music from time to time, definitely. Any of my music, that I write, that I perform as an MC, she loves. She's not really a big hip hopper.
But I like the big guys in hip hop. Like I like
Jay-Z,
Kanye West.
Notorious,
Yeah.
Tupac,
Yes.
Eminem.
Yes.
Outside of that, the only other MC she likes is me.
That's it.
That's it.
What's my favorite sports team?
She has no favorite sports team, man. She don't watch sports.
What's my eye color?
Brown.
Who is my best friend?
Besides God and Jesus Christ, it's me.
That's right. Holla back, young man.
Yeah. The whole thing is that we believe. I mean, this is our whole, thing. When we first got together, I remember my wife saying, "I don't know if this is gonna work," and I asked her why. She basically told me she hates labels, and the outside response to that was more like she didn't want to feel the responsibility or the pressure of living up to other people's expectations, or this is what this should be, this is what that should be. I told her, to be honest with you, there's only 3 individuals involved in a relationship. It's me, you, and God. That's it. Beyond that, we feel we're each other's best friends. We should be able to tell each other every and anything without feeling like we're going to be ridiculed, judged, or penalized because of what we feel. And I believe that's a great foundation for any relationship.
Yep, yeah, I believe a best friend is somebody that you can be completely open with and be vulnerable with, and that will celebrate in your happiness and, encourage you and, all those kind of things. And I find like the best place to go to for all of that is your spouse, because your spouse is supposed to be somebody that you can trust with everything. You trust them with your heart, that's why you get married, so if you can trust them with your heart, you should be able to trust them with, everything.
Absolutely.
What is something that you do that I wish you didn't?
That's a good question. What is something that I do that she wishes I didn't is actually like showing up on time. Like if I'm going out and she asks me when will I be back, and I say, I'll be back at 6 o'clock. If I'm not back by 6 o'clock, there's an issue. There's an issue. I mean, my wife's very punctual about if you're gonna say something, mean what you say, or be there at the time you said you're gonna be there. So when I had,
I'm always late for stuff. But I don't like when other people are late.
How do you even respond to that?
I don't know. Like I'm always like running like 10 minutes, 15 minutes late. I'm trying to work on it, but I can't stand when people do it to me.
I'll tell you this, honestly. Before we used to get into arguments about that, and I really was just like, where are you coming from with this? Sometimes things happen. And she broke it down to me this way, and I would never forget it. I think this is what helps me to remember that. She always tells me, I love being around you, and I love being with you. And sometimes, if you say I'm going to be here at a certain time, she prepares herself for, us being together. She may have things planned out, maybe dinner, or, us watching a movie, or just, talking and laughing and things of that nature. So, the more I started thinking about it, the more I understood that it was about her feelings and like how she felt about the situation. And I've done a lot better.
What is my heritage and where am I from?
She's from Nigeria. She's Nigerian. Born in Lagos, Nigeria.
You bake me a cake for my birthday. What kind do you make?
We've already answered this question. I don't want to bake her a cake because she only eats Entenmann's cake. So I'll go to the Entenmann store, cut it up into a cake, put some frosting on it. There we go.
I don't like frosting.
Well, it'll have to be a frosting she likes. I mean, I
don't
know
like
she doesn't
frosting
like frosting
at all.
Fine, you just want me to cut the cake and put some candles on it? I mean,
that's what you did last time.
That is true. I did that for her birthday.
That's what I like. Did I play any sports?
Yes. Now, let's see if I remember this story correctly. You played volleyball in high school for like a day. And if I'm not mistaken, you played softball for a week.
Very good.
Yes.
I don't like sports.
like we learned earlier.
What could I spend hours doing?
It depends on what it is specifically. I mean, besides watching old TV shows, you could spend hours, doing all the stuff that you do for your YouTube channel. You put in a lot of thought process into how you want to do things. You make sure that you execute your videos very well. You know, she takes a lot of time to make sure that all the stuff that she's bringing to you guys is like on point. And the work that my wife does is in terms of like the hours she spends editing or like just going over things is incredible.
What is one unique talent that I have?
One unique talent that you have is, I don't consider it to be a talent, but my wife does this crazy thing, double jointed thing with her fingers. I can't do it because I'm not double jointed, but it freaks me the hell out. I wish I could do it, but it's just...
I just do it to freak him out. It's not a real talent, but I can make all my fingers do this little witchy thing, and it just freaks him out.
It does freak me out. My wife can sing. She's a very good singer. I know you said one, but I'll throw in one more. My wife's a great songwriter. I mean, she writes very beautiful songs. A lot of them, you know, I'm just like very blown away. Quick story about that. When I started writing pop songs back in the day, my wife decided on writing, you know, as well. The only problem was that I didn't have a grasp of melody and harmonies and things of that nature to go with the flow of the song. Had great lyrics. So one day my wife meets me after class and she's like, "Hey, I wrote a song." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And she's like, "Yeah, I have the melody and I have the harmony and everything." I'm like, "Oh, really? Go ahead and sing it." So she starts singing it. I get not enraged, but I get kind of upset because I'm like, I spent a lot of time writing these songs, but I have no melody. And here she comes with, oh, you know, singing a song, popping and sticking in my head. I'm like, man. So it gets me motivated to try to, you know, get to that point. But after about a week and a half, I come to her and say, "You know what? I can't do this. I need your help." And she was able to help me. And now, you know, thank God I'm able to write even better songs because of my wife's great talent as a songwriter.
Oh. So that was all of the questions for the husband tag. If you guys have any questions that you'd like us to answer in the future video, just leave it down here. And this is my beautiful husband again. And we just want to say bye.
Hey, it's your boy Danger.
Danger. Check him out on Levels of Danger.
Levels of Danger.
And Danger Points.
Yeah, Danger Points, because Danger likes to point. Also follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/Danger. That's DANE_JA. Wow.
Yeah, so, and as usual, you already know what to do. You can always email me at songbirdiva4life@gmail.com. You can always tweet me at twitter.com/songbirdiva and keep up with me on my blog, divadivaglam.com. We love you guys. Bye. I spent hours doing. What can I spend hours doing?
Editing.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Pause this for a second. I can't think straight.
Oh, gosh.
Pause this for a second.
What can I spend hours doing?
Loving me? Combing your hair? Putting on makeup? I don't know. Sleeping?